Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. Ty, that was just how you drew it up, right?
Yep.
LeBron, 4 fouls in the first half. You're down 13 at the time. Why did you decide to leave him in there after 3, and what was going through your mind when you had to get him at 4 and you're down 13?
What you mean? You said why didn't I get him out? Because I didn't want to. It'd be like we were down. We needed his pop and his spunk, and I didn't think he would get a 4th foul called on him, but he did. And he went to the bench, and then Kyrie, kept us afloat. Kevin kept us afloat, and we got it down I think to 8, and then Horford banked in a 3 from the top of the key when we had a good run going. But I told the guys at halftime, until we get into the fight, it's going to be like this all night. I thought they really came out. They took it to us. They were more physical. They were more aggressive. And until we decided to play and get physical back and start guarding and defending, it was going to be a long night. But, I was happy to be only down 10, at halftime, like you said, with Bron having 4 fouls and us being down 16 at one point. So being down 10, at home, our crowd was great, gave us a lot of support, great momentum. And then in the third quarter, we decided to come out and guard and be more physical and get into the fight. And when we play like that, then we're tough to beat.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Ty, specifically LeBron's 3rd foul on Smart and the 4th foul, the offensive call. What did you make of those calls?
I don't know. They called him, so the one on Smart, I don't know. The 4th one, he ran him over. It was a good play. Rozier did a good job of stepping in and, taking the charge. So we had to do what we had to do. Bron had to play and, picked up his 4th foul. We got him out, and then Kyrie and those guys, helped propel us to cut it to 10 at halftime. And after that, in the third quarter, I thought we really came out defensively and had a defensive mindset.
Ty, Kenny wrote at WHBC. 9 turnovers in the first half, I think.
Ken, it's funny you only show up when we lose. That's funny, man. You only ask questions when we lose.
Yeah. I'm here. Good win tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. 9 turnovers in the first half. You limit that in the second half. What was the difference in valuing the basketball in the second half?
Well, it's big for us. Offensively, we know we can score the basketball, but these guys, they do a great job of pressuring you. Avery, Crowder, Smart, Rozier. So they do a good job of pressuring the basketball. They're a tough competitive team. So defensively, they get a lot of deflections, a lot of steals. So I don't think we had a couple turnovers that were unforced, but for the most part, I thought they forced those turnovers. But, once we took care of the basketball, we got shots. I thought, to get the game turned around, but also defensively was the reason why it turned around.
LeBron and Kyrie with the points, a lot of people are going to focus on that, but Kevin with 17 rebounds tonight. Just talk about how important he is in that area.
He's big, and I think they're doing a great job of trying to keep Tristan off the glass, so 2 or 3 guys are going to him, and now Kevin's there cleaning it up. So just for him rebounding the basketball, just being aggressive, going in the trenches, getting defensive rebounds is big for us because when he rebounds, he's the best outlet guy in the league. So, he can get it to Bron or get it to Kyrie, and we can push our pace.
Ty Lue, PJ Ziegler, Fox 8. What changed in particular for Kyrie Irving there in the second half? And then it seemed like he rolled his ankle or something there late in the second half, and then it seemed like he just kind of got sparked again from that. What was the difference with his game tonight?
I thought he saw, Bron went out, and he wanted to put the team on his shoulders, on his back, and just, let us ride him until LeBron got back. And he did that. And we put him in some good situations to, ISO, where he's one of the best in the league, and he produced for us. He got to the basket. We ISO'd him at the elbow. He got to the basket, got fouled. So he really stepped up and, really put us on his back and carried us. And then, through that second and third quarter, and then LeBron came in, the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter and really kind of sealed the deal. So, the big 3 tonight was phenomenal. And they've been playing great this series, and we just got to continue to keep doing it.
Tom Withers, AP. That's just what I was going to ask you, Ty. Did your heart skip a beat when Kai went down, and how is the ankle?
He said it was fine, but yeah, you never want to see a player go down. And, you know, the more games you play, the more things can happen. So, didn't look good, but, you know, he said he's fine, got back up, continued to play, you know, made some big shots. So I'm glad he's fine.
Jared Weiss, CLNS Media and Celtics blog. The Celtics kept switching in the fourth quarter, and LeBron was able to kind of size whoever was up against them and attack them. Did you expect them to go back into the switching late in the game and kind of give it a one-on-one look for him?
I'm just happy to be here.
Ty, Scott Sargent, WFNY. Now, because Game 3 with Kyrie's play was kind of all for naught with the loss, but now it's 2 straight games of super efficient play after a couple, you know, where things were a little wonky. Is this more of the Kyrie we expect to see going forward versus what we had, you know, with him being more of a facilitator and not having the shot falling the way it was?
Well, I just think he's grown as a player since I've been here. You know, each year he's grown, and just take what the defense is giving him in the playoffs. You know, Indiana played him differently, Toronto played him differently, and so did Boston. But you know, we knew he wouldn't shoot the ball the way he shot it. You know, the first couple of games. So, Kyrie scoring the basketball is not a big deal with us. You know, we know he can score the basketball, and you know, you're gonna have nights like tonight and Game 3 where he, you know, easily scored the basketball. So, you know, what you want me to say?
You did it.
Coach Mark D'Amico, Celtics.com. You've watched all of these guys take over at times and put your team on their back. But and you touched on a little bit with one-on-one situations, but how unstoppable is Kyrie when he's in that zone in one-on-one scenarios?
Very unstoppable. You know, he's probably one of or the best one-on-one player in the league. And when you give him room and give him space, he can get to anywhere he wants to get on the floor. And we know that. And, you know, what I think probably the best on-ball defender in the league is Avery Bradley, you know, and to take that challenge and, you know, to score, you know, a few baskets like that, you know, against Avery just shows you how good and special Kyrie is with the basketball because, you know, not too many guys are getting around Avery. And, you know, we've seen that, you know, for the last 4, 5, 6 years. So that just shows you how special he is offensively.
Ty, you guys held the Celtics 42 points in the second half while you shot 71% as a team. Which is the more impressive stat for you guys as a group?
Defensively. I think the way they had their way was offensively in that first half. You know, Coach Stevens, man, you know, he put them in great situations. They were, you know, playing our defense. They got any shot they wanted. They attacked us. Offensively, they were just so fast. They were just moving so fast without the basketball and put us in some tough situations. But, I mean, the plays they were running, you know, what Coach Stevens had them running was just unbelievable.
Ty, Ray Jeske, ESPN 90. Second unit, out of 4 guys, about 60 minutes, only 5 shots taken between all of them. Kyle, not a shot taken tonight. How much of a concern is that? Only, I think, 7 points between the entire second unit. And where does Channing Frye fit in going forward, at least in this series?
Not really concerned because they're not, like you said, not getting a lot of attempts. But, you know, Korver does his job. You know, defensively, he's solid. And then offensively, they're not going to leave his body. So that's why LeBron and Kyrie are able to get downhill and get into the paint because, you know, Marcus Smart and those guys are doing a great job of staying home on Kyle and, you know, getting over screens. So with that being said, you know, if they're not going to leave his body, then we should be able to get into the paint and not force as many threes as we did in Game 3.